Welcome back, my gentle people. This is Corner Stories, and today we have a couple of stories for you with their updates. So let's get into it. This happened 6 months ago. And I only chose to talk now because I don't see improvement in sight and I am hopeless. We were at a party. My friend is single and we started talking about love and relationships. My wife and I have been happily married for 7 years. We have 3 beautiful children. She is the love of my life. When I was talking to my friend, I felt like we were on different levels of thinking. His complaints are mostly superficial about how the people he dated looked. I was a bit drunk at that point and said something like, "You don't fall in love with looks, look at me and my wife, I love her more than anything compared to my ex who was just looks." Everyone went silent and my damage control was worse, so I ended up shutting the hell up. I couldn't get my point across, but even I thought that maybe these thoughts have been in my head but only came out when I was drunk. My wife was shocked. First week she was so angry and wanted to understand what I meant, and nothing I said was good enough. I was drunk. I love her. I think she's the most beautiful woman. She thought being drunk made me say my true feelings. Then one morning she just said, "You know, I have never felt as ugly as I have felt this past week. I have always thought I am beautiful." She didn't cry this time, but she hasn't been happy since. I started crying and apologizing, but she was like emotionless. It was the last time she looked at me too. She is taciturn and distant, but only with me. She has lost 20 pounds and she works out 6 to 7 days a week. She never has free time with me. If she's not with the children or her family and friends, she's immersed in some book or has her headphones on. She's always fully clothed now, even in bed. She locks the bathroom door when she takes a shower. She is more active on social media too. She shares many pictures of her. And she thanks everyone who gives her a compliment. Before, it was just pictures with our children and pets, but now it's her working out in sports bras and tights. I broke her and I don't know how to fix it. Update. We have been going to counseling and my wife at first has been very reluctant to open up and wanted to pretend that everything was fine. One session, she just asked me, "I want the truth. Here and now. No sugarcoating, and do not try to spare my feelings. Did you find me attractive when we met?" I really didn't know what to say to this. I love her more than anything. Even more than my children and myself. I think that she's the most beautiful woman I know, but did I immediately think that when I met her? No, I didn't really find her attractive. We all grow up having a type. I remember thinking that she wasn't exactly my type. But she was so lovable and sweet. It didn't take me long to fall for her, and now, I find women who look like her attractive, so I guess type is something very superficial and fleeting. I told her the truth. She cried and said that she herself didn't know why she was so hurt and crying. She knew that there were more beautiful women. She never wanted to be the most beautiful woman either. But that she always been considered beautiful by other people, which is true, and always got attention. But the fact that the one person she wanted to be found the most beautiful girl in the world by, didn't think that. And that's what made her sad. The man she loved way before we even started dating. This was on our latest session and it was the most draining experience. Later when we got home, she apologized for making a big deal out of something this trivial. But that she just couldn't help it, and she was as confused to why it affected her so badly. On Saturday she told me that she didn't want to stay in our marriage. That something broke inside of her. She asked me if I would try to hurt her and the children if we did separate. If I would use them to get back at her. Alienate her, because she chose to leave. I promised her that none of this would happen and that I loved her and wanted her to be happy even if it wasn't with me. Our families are in uproar over this. Mostly they're angry with her. That she let her insecurities get the best, and worst, of her. But I don't think it is insecurity, tbh. She has never cared about people's attention. She just realized that the only person whose approval she cared about didn't give her. At least that he had to learn it, and that wasn't enough. Now on to story 2. So my 24M brother, 27M, married and had a child with a 19-year-old girl. It was an arranged marriage. They aren't common in our culture, but my parents were close with this girl's father and they thought she was very pretty and essentially pre-ordered her for my brother. Her father is a very controlling man, so he wanted control over who she'd marry, and this is how he did it. They married soon after her 18th birthday. Initially, the girl, I will call her Grace, was starstruck by my brother, and I get it. He's 6'5", very muscular and has a good job, and they were happy initially. She was also getting loads of attention from everyone, and after growing up pretty neglected, heard from her cousins, she loved it. Then, she got pregnant pretty soon after. Her pregnancy was awful and she was sick all the time, and I guess that's when she realized she was in a mess. I heard my parents saying that she had gotten cold feet about the relationship, that she was scared of becoming a mother so young and wanted out. She disappeared in the middle of the night during her 6th month of pregnancy and moved in with her grandparents who disapproved of the arranged marriage from the start. My brother never treated her badly but expected her to step into this role of a wife when she wasn't even done being a kid yet. She had a daughter and she lets my brother see the girl, but she doesn't want to get back with him. Her father and my parents have been chalking it up to nerves, but it's clearly someone who's learned better and is trying to do better with her life. There is bipolar disorder on her mother's side of the family and they've been trying to claim that she's gone mental again. No. She's just a girl who realized she is way too young to be someone's wife. She hasn't asked for a divorce yet but she is saying that she wants time to figure herself out. She started to go partying with friends and drinking regularly. The baby is always with her grandparents but she does love that child. She's just trying to figure herself out. From what I can tell, my brother did love her in some capacity and he is very upset about her leaving him. He's been begging her to take her back, sending her gifts, buying the baby expensive clothes etc. She isn't responding to these things. He is losing weight and has taken time off work because he misses her. Yesterday, he was complaining to me about missing her and I snapped. It's obvious to anyone with eyes that he's wrong, so I told him that it's his fault for marrying a girl so young. Now he's mad at me. My sister is telling me it wasn't my business and I should have held my tongue because my brother is suffering, but I don't think I'm wrong. Edit, realized I missed a bit out. The reason why I mentioned her partying and drinking is because he complains about her doing this all the time. He'll take her pictures from social media and say that she isn't behaving how a mother-wife should act. That is why I snapped at him. I told him that she shouldn't complain about her behaving like a young person because he married a young person. Some relevant comments: this is less about the marriage and more about never being free to make choices living in a controlled household. Suddenly she has options and trauma and the ability to say no. Good for her. But that might mean she needs something different for herself. It's gonna be hard to find with the guilt and shame people probably try to put on her. Hopefully she finds some healing. OP's response: I hope so too. I speak to her sometimes and she seems to be doing much better. She has support from her mother and her grandparents, so I'm hoping she isn't forced back to my brother if she doesn't want him. Comment 2: It's also crazy why your brother thought it was appropriate to knock up an 18-year-old immediately after marriage. He doesn't really see her as his wife either. Kinda predatory tbh. Like, he wasn't like, hey, you're still growing, how about we use protection for a few years until you're ready. OP's response: he claimed their birth control failed on them, didn't ask what they were using because none of my business, but it's still weird. Now let's move on to the next story. Story 3. I am 38, have been with my wife, Natalie, F, 37, for 8 years, married for 4 years. Natalie has a daughter from a previous relationship, Kaya, F, 12. Kaya's dad left when she was a newborn. We have no idea where he is. I love her as if she were mine. She calls me dad and has a great relationship with me. I told Natalie from the very beginning that I would like to have biological children, and she said she is open to having more kids. After we got married, we bought a nice place and started trying for a baby. After a year, we did some testing and all came back normal. My wife said IVF would be too costly and hard on her body. I was secretly devastated, but I decided to come to terms with the fact that I'll never have any biological kids. This was until a few days ago when I found out from Natalie's sister that Natalie lied to me. She and her sister got into a fight in our house, and her sister screamed, "At least I don't take pills behind my husband's back and claim I'm infertile. Does he know you had an abortion?" I was floored. My wife kicked her sister out and started crying, saying she really didn't want another kid and didn't want to lose me. I can't believe she lied to me instead of talking to me. I just left. I have been staying at my parents' house since then. Natalie begs me to come back, and she says we can try for a baby. Kaya even messaged me to come back. My parents think I should just move on and give her another chance. She made a mistake, and she apologized. Added, I live in Canada. I'm pro-choice. I do believe women have control of their bodies. Don't lecture me about her rights. But this is a different case. She lied to me. I could have now have my baby in my arms. I had no idea she is against having more babies until a few days ago. Abortion happened 1.5 years after our wedding. Yes, my baby. Yes, she saw me devastated and upset when she claimed we can't have a baby. I can't believe she lied in my face. Update. Thank you for all your kind comments and private messages. I did receive a few unkind ones accusing me of trying to control her body or making her feel unsafe, which is why she secretly went through with it. Natalie came over to my parents' house last night after dinner. She dropped off Kaya at her friend's because she said she needed to talk to me. I'm glad I gave her the chance because I now have no doubt she is a pathological liar. She said after her first pregnancy she had to work so hard to be in shape and she swore she would never do that again. I said, then you lied to me from day one? She said she thought she would change her mind but she didn't. Then she saw me come to terms with not having a baby, so she decided not to tell me. I said, so you lied more? You got rid of my baby because you wanted to stay fit? You didn't even discuss anything with me? How could you do that to me? I could be holding my baby right now and you stole that from me. She said she is sorry but the good news is she still can. I said, you are still lying. You still don't want a baby and you're only saying it so I stay. I don't even know what to believe anymore. I can't trust you. Ever. She started crying, saying Kaya is so sad you left us because I can't give you a baby. I lost it. You lied to her too. Is this why she thinks I left? I told her it's over and get out of my parents' house. She cried and cried. I'll meet with a lawyer this week to start the separation process. I'll send a text to Kaya and explain that I didn't abandon her and will do anything to be in her life. I never legally adopted her sadly. I can't believe I blindly trusted her all these years. As for Kaya's dad, I have no idea who he is. She refuses to talk about it. Update 2. Sorry for multiple posts, but you guys have been so helpful. Definitely more than my family and friends in real life. I took your advice and met with my sister-in-law over lunch. She was very reluctant to give me any info, but here is what she said. Natalie is in no contact with her parents since before Kaya was born. She didn't lie about this part. I asked if she knows who Kaya's dad is because Natalie gets upset every time I asked and refuses to talk about him. She was surprised and said, you are kidding, right? You can't be this naive. It's obviously Ryan. Her boss. The guy who owns the yoga place. I asked about their relationship. She kept saying, Natalie really loves you. I begged her to tell me everything. She said she thinks, not sure, that the reason Natalie had an abortion was that she wasn't sure if the baby was mine or Ryan's. Either way, she didn't want another baby. I was floored. She was cheating on me. The same time we were trying for a baby? With the same guy who already abandoned her once? What's going on here? Why? I was stupid enough to start a college fund for her kid, yet she cheated on me at least once with this guy. I'm gonna lose my house and half of everything. She said, listen, you are a good guy, just move on. No need to dig more, you are making yourself crazy. I asked if Kaya knows who her dad is. She said absolutely not because Ryan has zero desire to be in her life. I want to tell everything to Kaya before leaving, but my parents think this is crossing the line because I'm not her dad or mom and it's none of my business. My friends think I want to tell her to hurt Natalie, but it's the opposite. I know how awful it is to be lied to, and Kaya deserves the truth. My parents think I act like a crazy person and I should just meet with a lawyer. Story 4. Recently his 3 teenage daughters moved in with him permanently. We do not live together but I stay at his house on weekends. I live on my own and I do a lot of online shopping, especially at Sephora. I gave his daughters a perfume each that I bought but never really wore, but now he's telling me that they would really appreciate it if I would actually take them shopping at Sephora. Which I probably would do, but we're still getting to know each other, me and his girls, and I don't want them to pretend to like me just because I buy them things. They've also almost finished all my creams, perfume and lip products that I left at his place, and he told me that's his fault because he told them they can use my stuff. Which is fine, but why didn't he ask me first? I would have said yes. The fact that he made that decision without asking is what's making me mad. I've also noticed that I've been paying every time we go out. He uses to offer to pay, but now it's like he just expects me to do it. Lastly, last night his youngest daughter decided to take a bath and she used the entire bottle of shower gel, 600 milliliters, that I left there, and his response was he's sorry but it's just a shower gel, I can get a new one. Shouldn't he at least offer to replace it for me? How would this make you guys feel? I'm not sure if I'm the one that being unreasonable. Edit update. Thank you to everyone that's been answering. Didn't think this post would get this much attention. I do want to mention that I don't pay for everything. I do pay for me and him when we go to restaurants, but he does pay for drinks and food when we're at his house. Since it's Valentine's Day today and we do have weekend plans, I do want to have a conversation with him and try to set some boundaries. Depending on how that goes, I'll make a decision regarding our future. Update March 10, 2024, 25 days later, I talked to him and he said he'd change and work on it. His idea of working on it was taking me out to casinos, which I don't like, and I've told him on multiple occasions that I don't like going to the casino. I had a bad case of COVID and was sick for a few weeks, so I wasn't able to see him this weekend we were together, and he's been telling me how much he misses me. We went to the casino again where we sat separately. AMD didn't talk for about 2 to 3 hours, got back to his place and had an argument. He told me he's sorry. I went to the bathroom to cool off and take a shower, and now I'm out of the shower. He's sitting naked in his bedroom waiting for me to have sex with him. I can't even look at him. I am incredibly pissed off. He fell asleep. Do I wake him to tell him I'm pissed or just leave? Relevant comments. Alarm Jellyfish 555. You're in your prime, and your boyfriend, who qualifies for many senior discounts, treats you like his sugar mommy. I recall your previous post about him giving your expensive products to his daughters and refusing to replace them. And always making you pay for all of your dates. And he treats you like a sex doll on top of it? And after that last post, you're still putting up with this man's BS. Girl, if you don't leave his sorry ass behind and block him everywhere, then don't come back here complaining again about this jackass. OP's response: no, I left, lol. I feel relieved. It's nice to be home. He will be blocked once he calms down. He knows where I live, so I'd rather know if he's around for a while before I officially block him. Not dangerous, just avoiding awkward situations. And that is the end of the story. That's it, guys. This is where I will leave you. I hope you enjoyed the stories I had for you. I certainly enjoyed them. Please be sure to drop a like or a comment, and it would mean a lot to me if you subscribe to the channel. Until next time, be kind, be curious, and I will see you. Corner Stories signing off.